All right, so we're gonna hit the top, sure. Okay, let's try to keep it at 1 minute. Okay, and I'll pretend that I have my private jet waiting. Okay, towards the end. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go for it. Hi, Sarah. My name is Lay. How are you doing?
Hi, Melanie. I'm good, thank you. Well, I'm Sarah. I've worked as a realtor and in the real estate industry for nearly a decade. And if you are a homeowner, you probably know the pain of trying to find a reputable contractor or other repair person to do maintenance or updates on your home. And you might have experienced some confusion or angst regarding whether the price that you were paying was reasonable. So this is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the US. And introducing Homease. Homease is a marketplace that connects homeowners to a network of home service providers that are highly rated and reviewed by your homies. And unlike our competitors, we only work with the very best companies, and we actually partner with them to offer our users exclusive savings and discounts. We are more than a platform. We are a community working to educate our users about home services. Our trusted home pros will offer you peace of mind, quality of work, and all at the right price.
We're just heading up or the top of the New York, World Trade Center. Let's dive in. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
hi
shall I present
Millie,
you
how
back?
are you doing today?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. Sarah, I've been a realtor for past 10 years, and one of the biggest issues that we had was finding a reputable contractor or a plumber or a service provider for myself and our own renovation products, but also our clients. They constantly ask us for recommendations. Okay. The challenge is online ratings like Yelp on Google reviews are not reliable. Okay. And finding the person at the last moment is always stressful. And people don't have time to go through the reviews. So that's why they rely on recommendations. So we started to create Homease, which is a platform where it's a marketplace where we match service providers with homeowners and real estate agents. But for each service provider to be on the platform, they must be recommended by at least three other real estate agents. This gives us validation on their quality. Our business model is we charge a subscription fee per month for for our homeowners, where they get a certain set of services for free, and there is additional cost for any additional for special purposes of one-off objects. We are not looking for funding right now, but we are looking for great connections in the real estate industry and the home service industry to expand this beyond the borders of Texas. Would like to have a coffee about that.
I like it.
Okay, first of all, there was not an ask at the end. Okay, so always have an ask. Okay, that's one. Secondly, the main thing, the main value from your pitch right now, it came out as, okay, it's mainly the price, savings, and discounts, right? And is that true though?
Well, so the current version of Homies, we actually vet all of the companies that we work with. We
Yeah,
do a full extensive vetting process. But
exactly.
as I'm about to expand it to become consumer facing, I'm still trying to determine what exactly our value proposition is going to be, and if it's going to be the same as we've been these past 2 years. If
Okay.
that's really what's important to people, or if there's other things that are more important to people. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
You know, I feel, and I remember chatting with you, that was my point. That is the core element of what you're doing, right? People trust, your website. People are using your website because, there's a challenge. Of course, there's a challenge about, okay, am I paying the right price? There's also, is this person actually any good? Right? A lot of, these are skilled trades, and a lot of times, having a good plumber makes a whole lot of difference in when you're renovating a house, right? So, in online ratings, like on, on any of these websites, like, even Yelp or Google reviews they're great, but often they could be manipulated as well, right? So, and you are combining the personal recommendation from real estate agents who have been actually, hiring these people more than once, who have more of a need than, a typical homeowner. You're actually using recommendations from verified real estate agents in order to come up with your recommendation. And I think that's powerful, and that was kind of missing.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Well, yeah, and it's because I was partially pitching for, I guess, the future version of Homease, not the current version of Homease.
But do you think that's going to go away in the future as well, as you're planning?
No, that's not going to go away. That's not, it's going to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's I think that's the key powerful, right? Like you're combining the reviews, the online reviews, along with verified recommendations from active from actual sales agents, actual real estate agents, right? Yeah. And that's powerful. Sure, your background check might go away. You might not continue doing that. Okay, so that's okay. But I think the more power is in the recommended by real estate agents rather than random people who could be saying anything about any, like it could be bots for all we know, right? So I think that's a powerful aspect. Also, tell me a little bit about what stage you're at right now, like about your traction a little bit, and tell me a little bit about your ask, because we missed that.
Well, so I actually don't have an ask because I'm not actually raising any money.
Sure. So, okay. Tell me about your traction right now.
So my traction right now, we have about 1,000 agents who use Homease, and we have about 60 companies that we work with. So that's our current.
All in the Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. All in the Austin area. Okay.
Okay. And what are those companies? What are those companies, Sarah? You talked about the companies that are helping you. Can you give me a bit of a guidance on those companies for a second?
Yeah, so we actually have over 50 categories on Homease. So anything that you could think of, contractors, handymen, plumbers, electricians, foundation companies, the number or the number of companies that realtors work with is very extensive. So really any type of trade that you might need when you're getting a house ready to put on the market, or working with a buyer and doing due diligence on a property. So yeah, there's quite a few trades.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Sarah. Here was where my brain was, because you were pitching to Nalay, but if I may, I'm going to give you where my brain was. Two things. Number one is kind of what your business model is, right? I was thinking about your business model, right? And we all have dealt with getting a home ready, and then obviously home maintenance in general. Okay, right? And we have this headache of whenever we have a plumber problem. Okay, let's talk about plumbing specifically. When you have a plumbing problem, you call a plumber, and it's always a one-off thing, right? And then sometimes that plumber doesn't exist anymore, or some of that plumber doesn't want to help you anymore, and stuff like that. And what I've realized is, as I was thinking about this, and the fact that you're in Austin, Texas, and you have all these rich people from California moving in, right? I was wondering if there might be actually kind of like a home, a home management as a service, right? Or a contractor as a service model where they pay a certain lump sum of money to you, to Sarah, okay? And they continue to pay you every month. And that takes care of themselves if they're the real estate agent and or the person who owns the house, right, Nalay? Like, Nalay, I'm thinking about it for a second. If you actually look at your financials, right? Your fence. Nalay and I are friends, by the way. So I know about his. So we had there's a fence problem. We both had a fence problem. We both had a plumbing problem. We both had and me and him are wasting time. We're like, okay, what do we?
It's just in the last 3 months, actually.
Right? Yeah. So what happens is imagine, Nalay, if we had kind of this Netflix for home support stuff where every month I'm paying some money to Sarah and her team, okay, and every month we don't have to use it, but every month she'll just check in with us and see is everything okay. And then what happens, Nalay, because usually for home stuff with me, I usually wait till it's a real problem before I get it fixed. Okay, then it becomes a more expensive problem.
Everyone does.
Is that it? Okay, I just thought it was because I grew up kind of ghetto, right? I grew up lower middle class Canadian, so I thought maybe it was just me. But Nalay, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you had a model with that, and these Californians that are coming to Austin, Texas, that know nobody, They come and they're like, oh, I trust Sarah. You know, she is a unicorn who knows Austin very well. I'm happy to give her $500 a month. Okay. And whenever I have a plumbing issue or a fence issue or a window issue or a filter issue, or, you know, she just gets it done. I don't even want to think about it. Does that make sense? And if you build it around that and you have this audience of people, these rich people from California that are used to paying stuff, they've been like trained. They're the first early adopters for everything, right? Netflix, pay per month, right? Why don't you just target them, okay? And build your model like this. And then suddenly you get like SaaS platform cash flows.
Valuations.
Which is valuations and cash flow, Sarah, right? And I know you're pivoting your idea, but that's kind of what I was thinking as you were talking.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting business model. I haven't thought of that. The whole reason for why I came up with Homease is because all of these people, like the rich Californians who move here, they always ask their realtor for all of these recommendations.
Correct.
And so that was the whole premise of Homease, was that, you know, people are asking their realtor for all, I mean, our clients ask us for anything you could ever imagine, like a hairdresser, including home services. And so that was how the whole idea came about. That's definitely an interesting model. You know, it'd be interesting to ask people if they would be willing to pay for access to that type of network.
Yeah. So Sarah, the thing is your real estate agents are your low cost, customer acquisition tool. That's all they are. You get what I'm saying? They're talking to them, and real estate agents, like, they're there to sell the house. If they get a cut of it, right? You know, you give them like $200-300 of your cost of acquisition. These guys are going to dump everyone on you, whether they think that you're good or not, right? I mean, we've all, you know, so, but the model, right? The model that we're talking about might be the model that really takes it up a notch, because then you have your virtualized in-house people, virtualized, right? Those plumbers, you kind of virtually own them. It's kind of like how McDonald's virtually owns farms, okay? They're the biggest real estate owner. They virtually own farms. They don't have their name on the deed, but they have this agreement, and that person who's a superstar plumber, right? A Frank, right, in LA? Our Frank guy, okay?
Frank, yeah.
Right? We all have a Frank, right? We have a guy named Frank, and he's amazing. He's this guy. I don't know if my plumber, right? He came to my house, and he's such a nice guy that he's like, Ash, you don't have to pay me, but can I get some cherries on your tree? And so I've been paying my plumber from cherries. I don't know if I told you this, right?
Wow, I didn't do that.
Now,
you know,
Sarah,
Frank,
you can't pay people
Frank is
cherries.
a plumber.
Do not do that. Do not do that. But what I'm saying, Nalay, is maybe you can pitch this new concept, right? You know, in terms of just making it work, because it just removes the headache, right? No, it's such a pain point, Sarah. And if I know I have,
would you be willing to pay?
Sarah, the thing is so, if I'm a rich Californian, right? If you think about home maintenance, this is where your customer development needs to come in, right? Because you have to look at it like I'm a Canadian living in Toronto now. So growing up here, I look at it differently. But when I was living in Singapore as an expat, or in France or Abu Dhabi, I mean, we've lived in other places, it's different, right, Sarah? Right? So you have to think about who that customer is. This is where your customer development comes in.
And Sarah, a little bit of competitor analysis as well. Like, you know, there are, you know, some, like, you know, at least furnace rental agencies, or, you know, boiler, you know, the people who, the companies which rent out, you know, furnaces and lease, they actually have some services like these, right? But they're typically only for plumbing or, like, you know, HVAC, and that's about it, right? Like, not for everything else. So I think easily like $50 to $100 a month is very easy. Very easy. You know, I'm actually like, I end up paying, you know, instead of going with Frank, and actually Frank suggested me, he's our plumber, you know, to go for that. And I got, just for plumbing, I'm paying $25 a month now. Okay, just to take care of plumbing. Right, so $50, and I'm happy to pay that because it's peace of mind for me. Right?
So just any plumbing issue that you have come up, it just so it's almost kind of like an insurance.
It is. It is exactly that model.
You could kind of look at it like that, right? Nalay, do you want to pitch that idea? Can you pitch that idea?
Yeah, no. So I think that's a yeah. I mean, maybe we can try using that idea. So. Yeah, I think combining that with, you know, vetted real estate agents with three actual real estate agents, actually, you know, I think that's a really good model where you're actually, for investor, like, you know, having a subscription-based model. for something like this, and and you apply insurance company valuations to this, or you apply SaaS company valuations to this, this kind of makes it a real interesting deal for an investor's perspective. And also as a business, it's a great business because, it gets peace of mind, especially in a market where people don't know other people. I think that's the idea that we would go with.